Hello and welcome to another video here with me, John. Today we're going to look at Logic's Drummer, which is a super simple, intuitive part of Logic for getting quick and easy drum tracks, but there's a bit of depth to it which can help you get really good results. So I've got 5 little tips for Drummer, which I'm going to show you, and I hope you find these useful. If you already know them, you know them, but we're going to whiz through and have a quick look. So the first thing we can do is, rather than creating a drummer track in the usual way and going, yep, that's good, and then you can press the plus, or you can drag it over, and then you go, right, so this is my verse, I want this to be soft and simple, this is my pre-chorus, I want this to be a bit louder, and so on. You can get rid of all that. If you know the structure of your song, you can use the arrangement thing. If it doesn't show up, you can just make sure arrangement is ticked in here, and you have an intro, verse, chorus. Let's just do a few. Intro, verse, chorus. Let's go for another verse. Let's go for a chorus. Let's go for a bridge, and one more outro. So this is our song structure. Let's assume that this is correct. Change our tempo 100. So we get rid of that drummer track. Now, if we create a drummer track, just do our usual thing. Let's alternative, whatever. Now, what it does is it gives us an appropriate kind of guess at the structure, at the right kinds of part for the parts of the song that we're at. So here's the intro. Pretty intro-y. There's our verse, chorus. Back to the verse. Bridge, probably a ride. Not in this case. But yep, so that's the first thing you can do. You can get a super simple, you might need to count out the bars and so on, but if you have a song structure and you want to create a drummer track, maybe you've done a guide guitar or something like that, then you can just pop the structure in there and then create the drummer track, and it will automatically populate it there for you. Tip number 2 is to use just part of Logic's Drummer and do the rest yourself. I don't know about you, but not being a keyboard player, sometimes it's hard to get like a human feel into things like hi-hat patterns, whereas Drummer does a good job of that. So if you can't find the right kind of groove for your song, maybe it's like following a guitar riff and you want specific kick drum hits in certain places, you can just use the hi-hats or just use the ride cymbals or whatever. So we click on the snare, click on the kick, we just want the hi-hats. Let's see what this sounds like. So we can use the fills as well. Let's do it for this example. So what we need to do now is to create another version of this drum kit which is not a drummer track. So we create a software instrument drum kit designer. Whack. So we then we go to the drummer track, copy channel strip setting, go to the software instrument track, paste channel strip setting, and these are now the same drum kits. So we can now input kick and snare. You get the idea? Probably not the greatest musical idea you've ever heard. You get the feel for what I'm saying. Tip number 3 is you can change drummers without changing all the drum kits. So let's say we've done some editing on the drum kit. We like that kick drum, we like this snare drum, but we've tuned it, and this, oh yeah, that's great, that's exactly what we're looking for. However, we don't like the patterns, and we're not getting on with the complexity slider. This is not quite doing it for us, and we can't find the patterns. Click here on the little settings thing. Keep settings when changing drummers, yes. Keep drum kit when changing drummers, yes. Now you can experiment with these, but the important one here is keep drum kit when changing drummers. So now we can change from our friend Gavin, we can go to something completely different like Leah, see what she's got for us. Now the snare sounds different here because there's a clap on there, so we take the clap out. We keep the same drum sound, but we have completely different styles. So again, we'll go. Let's see what Kyle's got. Okay, that's tip number 3. We're whizzing through this. Tip number 4 is exporting to MIDI. You've probably done this, but there's a couple of ways of doing it. Let's say we like this one. Now you can click on it and go convert to MIDI region, or it's down here, convert to MIDI region. And now we've just got that MIDI, but we can't now return that to being a drummer track and mess with the, say we want to put some automatic drum fills in. We can't do that. So undo. What we do is we simply drag this and hold Alt to make a copy of it, drag it down to our drum track, and now we have the MIDI. So we can mute this, edit this to our heart's content. In the piano roll, and you can leave the drums, you can leave the drummer track where it is. So let's say we've got our song all mapped out just as we'd like it. We Alt click to copy it over, and now we've got MIDI and we've got complete control of that. We could also go to this drum kit, and instead of being the drummer Brooklyn kit, we can go down to producer kits. This is a separate thing this is a bit more in depth, but we can go to producer kits, Brooklyn, select that, and now within the Brooklyn kit we've got all of our individual drums, kick drum, snare, toms, etc., and we'll have complete control over that. The final thing is to experiment with the hidden page. It's not hidden page, but this page here. We go down to details. Ghost notes makes a big difference. Hi-hat also fantastic. Say you want to slash up the hi-hat for the chorus, or have it very dry, or anywhere in between. Now, push and pull, basically in the center there, it will be kind of in time. It still has the rough feel of the drummer, but it's not particularly pushing, and it's not particularly behind the beat. If you pull the slider down to pull, it then pushes, it will pull the timing back, so the main hits, and in fact all of the hits, are going to be slightly behind the beat. If you push it, it will be rushing ahead of the click. You can see this on the grid if you convert it to MIDI when it's pushing, and then convert another one to MIDI when it's pulling, and then comparing them. If you then move them into time, there are still variations in them, so it doesn't just move the whole part. It's not moving, for example, kick, snare and a hi-hat. It doesn't move it all early or all late. It moves them in slightly different amounts. I'm not quite sure what it's doing, but they are subtly different. So that's a really good way of, if say you're doing like a punky track, you might want to have this really pushing along a bit. But if it's a bit more laid back, maybe people are playing with a bit more groove, or you're playing with a bit more groove, or you want a more laid back feel, you can pull it. Right, that's it. 5 tips Logic Drummer. Hope they're useful. You probably know a few of them, if not all of them already, but even if you've just learned one, then I am happy to have helped. Like and subscribe if you would like more videos like this. Let me know in the comments if there are any other Logic Drummer tips that I could have covered or that you use, because you know I'm learning too. So yeah, do let me know. I do hope this was helpful. I haven't touched on any of the mixing stuff here. There's so much more that you could do, like with, you know, multiple snares, and that's for another video. If you want me to talk about that, let me know. But yes, I'll see you in the comments. Thank you for watching. Be safe, be well, and rock out with all Logic's lovely yellow drum region drummers things. Okay, see you later.